Look at this web page prototype. It seems fine at first glance, right? But when it comes to layout design, everything starts to break. In this video, let's see how to fix these common layout issues. Let's start with the first fix. You might have used width 100 VW for your main or parent element, thinking it'll make your layout span the full width of the screen. But here's the problem. It actually causes an unexpected horizontal scroll on your page. Let me show you why. Let's check the actual viewport width and body element width in the console using JavaScript. In my browser console, the screen width is 1,366 pixels, while the body element width is 1,351 pixels. When I set the parent element to width 100 VW, the browser stretches it across the full 1,366 pixels, which also includes the space for the vertical scroll bar. That's why the layout appears to slightly overflow. The fix is simple. Instead of using 100 VW, go with width 100%. Or even better, use the new CSS stretch unit, which automatically adjusts for scroll bars in modern browsers. Let's move on to the second fix. When you use display grid to vertically center your content, it may align things correctly, but it can also break your section layout. That happens because grid changes the column sizing, which affects the width of your elements. In my design, I wanted the image to take up 42% of the column, but using grid distorted that layout. The better solution is to use align content, center and justify items, center. These properties center your content perfectly without breaking the layout proportions. All right, let's move on to the third fix. Now, when you use CSS Grid with repeat count and 1FR, it looks perfect on large screens. But once you switch to smaller devices like mobiles, your columns get squeezed and everything feels off balance. The simple fix? Use AutoFit along with min-max in your grid template columns. That way, each column keeps a minimum and maximum width, making your layout look clean and responsive across every screen size. Let's move on to the fourth fix. When you use margin left to create spacing between aligned items, it can easily break your layout. For example, in my design, I added margin left 1.2 rem to my service cards, and it created unwanted gaps around the layout. A better way is to use the gap property. It's clean, consistent, and works perfectly with both flex and grid layouts. All right, let's move on to the fifth and final fix. When you use VDW units for your font sizes, the text scales with the entire viewport width. It looks great on desktop, but on smaller screens, the text can shrink too much or become huge on ultra-wide displays. To fix this, use the Clamp function. It lets you set a minimum, preferred, and maximum font size, so your text stays readable and consistent across all devices. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope this video helped you understand these CSS layout fixes a little better. If you found it useful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Web World Tech, where we make web development simple, practical, and fun. See you in the next video.